2023 is the year that's all about standing up, making a stand to the corporate elite power structure media machine that's trying to tell people what to do.
All those bots in the corporate media.
And there's a boy out there that we want to give a shout out. They've been trying to hold him down, and he said, no, media machine, you will not tell me how to live my life.
I will do what I want.
I will do what I want, and as of now, I will have another 23-year-old girlfriend. Shout out to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Shout out, Leo. He's doing your thing.
Doing your thing. They told him, they said, no, Leo, you can't do that. He said, well, I don't care what you say.
He goes, look, I'm a 48-year-old man. I do what I want.
I do what I want. The corporate media elite's not going to tell me what to do. I like two things, 23-year-old girls and talking about the environment, and that's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and the best way to do that is on your yacht in St. Bart's.
I like being on a yacht, telling 23-year-old girls how much you hate pollution. Yeah. He shows them videos of people polluting, and he goes, ugh! Let's get out of here. I'm going to leave this on the deck. Let's go downstairs. I can't be around this phone anymore that even contains that kind of property.
And that's what they'll do it. They'll be like, okay, sounds. Plus, they're less polluting.
And he's not.
A 23-year-old just body is just
a body pollutes less.
Less
they poop
carbon.
Less. They fart. 23-year-old girls fart less.
Less emissions.
Less emissions.
From a 23-year-old.
Shout out to the kid, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Kid for life.
And we're just going to, hopefully we keep that energy standing up to the man.
The boys. It's the BOYSCAST. The lads. It's the BOYSCAST. The dudes. Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST. The bros. It's the BOYSCAST. The homies. It's the BOYSCAST. The dudes. Experience the BOYSCAST. The BOYSCAST.
On the topic of big celebrities that are friends of mine.
On our big celebrity friends.
So my New Year's resolution is to sort of, you know, when people, big celebrities sort of reach out to me, I usually say I don't have any time for them. But these days, I think that one of my things is, I don't know if you know, but a buddy of mine, Usain Bolt, has been sort of liking some of my videos.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Usain Bolt's getting in there.
Listen, it's just a couple guys, but the funny part is...
A couple high-level athletes.
It's a couple guys that we might go for a run together, but the thing that's funny is, Usain Bolt, the video that he liked, it's the one about, like, pulling your laptop open and getting caught watching porn.
Yeah.
It's such a...
Been there.
It's so funny, Usain Bolt being like, this video speaks
very
to me.
relatable to me.
Usain Bolt's got the dog, you know. What's he running from? That's the question.
Them hoes.
He's running from relationships. That's what it is.
Yeah, he is.
So Usain Bolt, me and him, I'm most likely will be on the pod. We haven't set a date yet because I haven't reached back out to him after he liked the videos. But I'm thinking about hitting him back up at some point in time.
Yeah, we'll have him on the pod.
Well,
the fastest boy alive.
If you're listening,
probably shouldn't call him that.
Why shouldn't you?
Fastest man alive.
Oh, you're saying he's not a boy?
Yes, he's a man.
You're saying he wouldn't like that?
Just it's a loaded term.
Why? I don't get it.
Forget it. It's because like the racist stuff, the racism stuff.
Ah,
yeah. Fastest man alive.
See, I'm so not racist.
I know.
And my brain
I'm
doesn't
so
go there.
racist.
You're so racist.
I'm
you
insanely racist.
Like yeah, you're that guy.
I'm just the race guy.
And
he's also a racist. I'll show myself out.
Speaking of,
I was like the crap
race.
The whole time. Yeah.
Speaking of other races, Chinese, who's my favorite race.
It's the best race.
It's the best race. So this is a fun one to start out with. Mm-hmm. So I was going around, you know how one of my favorite things is to do is when things pop off here, kind of go and see what other publications are trying.
Yeah.
So basically I was looking at, essentially it was like the Hong Kong Times.
Yeah.
But they do it in English. So I guess the Hong Kong Times or something makes...
There's a lot of English speakers in Hong Kong.
Is that just why it is?
Yeah, for sure. Well, because they're supposed to be like, we're not China, and then it's like a autonomous region or whatever. But yeah, there's tons of English speakers.
So there's a guy that's going a little viral for some of the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
He said, okay.
Wrong.
So this guy's been, it is wrong Kong.
Wrong Kong. Wrong.
Wrong. All right.
Yeah.
So this guy basically has like a YouTube channel on some Hong Kong site, right? And he makes these videos with his girlfriend, and his whole thing is he goes, "Don't pick a smart girlfriend. Hong Kong man's critique of idiot partner." But he goes hard on it, right?
Yeah.
He goes, idiot partner for confusing battery sizes on popular forum draws sexist comments. The post was published on Hong Kong Discuss Forum on December 16th by the user Salt Daddy.
So I love that it's Salt Daddy. That's so funny.
Well, Salt Daddy, this is the thing, right? So he's basically making this video. If you watch some of it, he's basically out there and he's just like, Look how stupid my dumb idiot girlfriend is.
She's like, she could not survive without me.
What a fucking moron, right?
The best part is probably she's like, what are you doing? Like he's got a camera over there. And she's like,
Right.
You're so dumb. Can you do this?
Well,
and then
he was like, I can
play to the
monetize
camera.
this.
Yeah, he's like, what?
She was like, where am I? And he's like, I can monetize this, right? And then, so basically all the people and the things, I disagree with this personally. I think you should never put your idiot girlfriend on blast like that. No, you let your idiot girlfriend live in peace. It's not it's not the internet's business that your girlfriend's stupid.
Unless that's the theme of your channel.
His girlfriend could not get the tree's electric lights to work. And then, but the problem was she hadn't even installed the battery. So a real total fucking moron,
Yeah,
right?
she doesn't know how anything works.
So this is a dumb idiot, right?
Dumb idiot moron who doesn't know how a tree works.
So she's stupid. She's as dumb as a post. He's got this dumb idiot girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he's putting her, he's got a whole channel dedicated to how stupid his dumb idiot girlfriend.
We should check out his channel. We should bring him on the podcast.
I told you, I was watching Salt Daddy's content.
Let's fly him in.
It's just her doing tasks, and he's just like, he looks at the camera, he goes, fuck, can you, idiot. Yeah, there she goes again. He's got an accent like that.
trying to do anything.
He goes, oh, you stupid. And then, yeah, he hits stuff, and he's just like, can you believe this? But then, so basically, he was saying it's this positive thing. He's a positive spin. He's an optimist, and he's like, this is why everyone should have a stupid, dumb, idiot, moron girlfriend. And the reason for that is because it makes you feel better about yourself.
Oh, for sure. It definitely makes you feel good. But that's a bad pretense for a relationship to just keep them around.
Well, this is the debate. It sparked a bit of a debate.
Yeah.
Because all the Hong Kong people were pretty on board with this sentiment. They were saying things like, I need a dumb, idiot, moron girlfriend, right?
Yeah, I too.
Do you want to hear some of the sexist comments that were?
Sure.
So the purpose of this article is to say that sexism was rampant. Popular Hong Kong internet message board site is facing backlash because the message board sites
I
over
love how
there.
they're going after the message board site.
the message
It's like 4chan style.
they want people to censor on this message board site, right?
Classic China.
But they don't have censorship. They said it's up to the boards to moderate themselves. We're not here to get involved with that kind
What
of
are we,
censorship.
China? And you go, kind of.
Yeah,
Guess who you asked?
Yeah, what are we, China? And they go, no, yeah, definitely not. Anyways, that also one thing is that camera was not. He didn't set it up. It was just there was 5 cameras already running it.
Yeah, for all time.
This is just his dumb idiot girlfriend's just that's a dumb idiot girlfriend cam that's just streaming from the Chinese government.
Does it have like blinking dumb idiot girlfriend cam?
Yeah,
like
dumb idiot
the
girlfriend
overlay?
cam. Yeah. So basically what happened was a lot of the guys in this site said, oh, man, you don't want to pick a girlfriend who's too smart. Another one of these sexist trolls added, women are only liked if they're stupid.
I don't know about that. You don't want them too big for the britches, though.
Another user commented, and Danny, I know this will boil your blood.
Yeah.
It's better to control her than have her control you. It's a gift from God, and he's referring to the dumb, stupid, idiot, moron girlfriend.
But here's the thing, though. The stupider they are, the harder they are to control.
It's sort of like a dumb dog's easy to train principle.
Kind of. You're like, because
harder to
it's
train?
like, well, the dumber they become, it's actually like they think they're smarter. Like the further they get away from being smart is probably the smarter they think they are.
Okay, I've been both. I've played the dumb idiot retard boyfriend.
Yeah.
Where I just act like I'm super stupid.
Sure.
And I honestly find they don't mind it sometimes. And
Yeah.
I've also had like smart girlfriends and dumb girlfriends. And there's very pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, don't completely sleep on the dumb idiot stupid girlfriend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't totally sleep
I've had
on
both.
it. You've had both. What do you prefer?
That's a good question. Probably the dumb idiot. Yeah.
You think this guy's onto something with the dumb idiot stupid girlfriend?
The dumb idiot. You
The
don't want
problem
them to
is
be too dumb.
then you
though.
have dumb idiot stupid moron kids though.
Yeah, unless or you have to make more of an effort to not have them be.
The
dumb,
problem
stupid
is though, if
idiots.
you have a low IQ girlfriend, then you have a low IQ, low T couple, right? So then you have a kid. Hopefully you have a kid that has her T and your IQ, but really what you end up with is low T, low IQ, and that could be problematic.
It's a tough one. I mean, there is a way around it, but you like with the rearing of the children, but you're gonna have to spend a lot of time basically telling them, like convincing them that their mom is not to be trusted. And
So you're right, because but they might also be stupid. That's the thing, right?
Right.
So this is a problem. But all of these guys, all the bros in the forum were like pretty much in agreement. Like they were saying it was like hate speech, but it was a lot of guys being like, "Good stuff, dude. I wish I
Yeah.
had one of those myself. My stupid girlfriend wants to go to school." You think, oh, buddy, well, you don't
She wants
understand.
to go back and get her GED, and I won't allow it.
You're living the life, buddy. My girlfriend's trying to do drop shipping tutorials right now. Buddy, you don't know how good you got it with your dumb idiot, stupid idiot girlfriend.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it goes both ways. I've had both.
another said, it's nice to have a girlfriend who worships you. That's a funny thing to be in a chat room being like, that'd be fucking nice to have a girl that worships you, man.
Just fucking worships the ground you walk on.
What's that like?
It's like having a dog.
Like, seriously, dude, what's that like? Just having a girl that worships you, man. That'd be so fucking sick. Oh, I gotta log off. Mine's coming right now.
That would honestly be the
Sure, you think
ultimate
we
if
were.
you could somehow, like in a lab, combine.
What do you think's the perfect girlfriend?
Dumb, stupid, idiot, hot girlfriend.
Okay, dumb, stupid, idiot, hot
But the
girlfriend.
loyalty and the friendliness of a dog.
You saying you
If
want...
you could combine a dumb, stupid, idiot girlfriend with a dog.
Do you think that in the labs they should be breeding something like that?
That would be, yes.
And then you sort of come in to
Maybe a
test
lab,
it.
yeah.
And then you come in, you just like, you know...
But it can't
smash-
look like a dog at all.
Well, you don't get to choose if it looks like a dog.
Well,
That's
I'm not-
No, you're
it
trying
has
to...
to look
Now you're
like
trying to play God.
I am trying to play God. I'm literally trying to
Yeah, well, guess what? Sometimes God makes, a dumb, stupid, idiot girlfriend that's like very loyal. Why wouldn't the dumb, stupid, idiot girlfriend originally be loyal?
Because they're dumb and stupid idiots.
Why can't dumb, stupid, idiot people be loyal? I think the whole argument here, the
problem is they
bros
get-
in the chat are making, is they think the dumb, stupid, idiot girlfriend's loyal.
I don't think they are. I think they.
Why do you think they're less loyal?
I just think
You're
that-
saying it's like these hoes ain't
Well,
loyal and the
well,
dumb,
they're
stupid,
just
idiot
they're,
girls are
they're dumb and
hoes?
stupid, so they wouldn't be loyal. I don't know.
I don't think that's necessarily any factual. Take the dumbest, stupidest idiot.
Yeah.
Like 70 IQ.
Okay.
Why are they less likely to like? I think that I'd say the least loyal is 115 IQ because they're like scheming.
Yeah.
But they're Machiavellian, but they're not smart.
Is there a woman that
But
has
they're
that
not
high of
smart
IQ?
enough.
Is this what are we just? I guess we're just.
No, I'm the one playing God.
What is it, Fantasyland over here? I don't know if such a thing existed, but all right. I guess I'll suspend disbelief, Ryan.
I was saying that, like really when, because people when say couples or argue, it's like when you really know that like you're over a relationship is when you stop arguing.
Yeah.
When the girl's like, Machine Gun Kelly's such a talent, and you're just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Think that. I don't know. You just. Whatever, yeah. Think that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would say that even with like smashing, I'd say as you get older, the difference is when people say, I think what you would call maturity in a man is when you're like 20, you look at girls, it's like, oh, frig, I smash her. When you're like, as you get older, you can imagine a little, like the fantasy doesn't end totally at the smashing. You kind of picture a little further than that. You're like, yeah, but then she'd be here. Okay, this is what it would look like.
Yeah.
You kind of, it doesn't just end at the
a few more
smashing.
steps ahead.
Yeah, I think when
she's gonna be here next week.
when you're
I got something to do.
see what I mean? When you're picturing, as you get older, when you're picturing a woman and like thinking about just smashing her, I feel like the older you get, the more you picture what happens after the smash.
yeah, like the next day.
You might picture
the awkward.
You might picture
brunch.
the next morning. By the time you're like 50, you're probably like, yeah, and then I'm gonna have to meet her kids. Like you're picturing days and afterwards.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more you picture.
That's the wiseness of age.
But I do say, I think I would disagree with you that the dumb, stupid, idiot Chinese girlfriend, the dumb, stupid, idiot Chinese hot girlfriend,
Yeah.
that isn't loyal. I don't think there's any evidence to say that the dumb, stupid,
They
idiot
won't be loyal.
girlfriend's
Yeah.
less loyal.
Yeah, maybe not less loyal. I just think they have all sorts of things just rattling around up there that could kind of easily persuade them.
Yeah. Okay. You're saying they could be like some other shiny guy could take them away from
They're dumb, stupid idiots.
you. Yeah. I mean, I think that.
But
I'm
then again,
holding
with
strong.
the dog analogy,
Least
dogs are super loyal, and they're the dumbest.
Well, what about
Dogs
if you
are super dumb.
if you actually think about it? Do you not think guys are? Well, I mean, a million people have said this, but you're making the wrong analogy because girls are more like cats, guys are more like dogs sometimes.
No,
right?
but that's what I said. Well, sure, but I was just saying in terms of dogs are stupid and loyal. So
okay. Oh, you're just saying in terms of a dumb, stupid, idiot pet.
yes,
Well, they basically said the Hong Kong Discuss forum, the Hong Kong Discuss forum is what it's called, has no options for users to report this hate speech or offensive comments. But so far, it hasn't really been what I've seen as offensive comments. It's this guy's like, look at my stupid idiot dumb girlfriend. She's Chinese and I love her. And then the other guys are like, I wish I had a dumb, stupid Chinese.
you think they all bring out the fact that we're all Chinese though?
I think they're all still saying that. They go, man, I fucking wish I had a dumb, stupid, idiot Chinese girlfriend. Oh, fucking, you're so lucky, dude.
Yeah.
But no one's saying like, oh, she's so stupid.
That is a small
They're all
sample
saying
size
nice.
too. Yeah, and that's a really
Nice.
small because with the batteries. So she went out to get the batteries for the tree.
Apparently, she's doing dumb,
And
stupid
then he
idiot
goes,
things all day
she
long.
bought one of every type of battery because she doesn't know about batteries. But like,
She didn't know what
not to
AA
put,
batteries
not to
were.
put, but like she might have some other skills where it makes up for it. Like, because like my girlfriend, like I don't know if she's quite a dumb stupid idiot, but she has some things where I go like, I can't believe you don't know how to do that.
That's what I'm saying, though. I think that's like
Like she didn't know
standard-
that like up until recently that if you put a lid on a pot, it boils faster.
That's funny.
Like it's really like you're like, I know this when I was 7.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I go, crazy.
I'm
I'm just like crazy.
I'm always like astounded by the things people don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like movies or someone like that.
Sure. But this is like a basic life thing. This isn't even like, great, you're not into movies, but you're like, you never boiled water?
Dude, I dated a girl that didn't know that you're supposed to put wieners in the Kraft dinner. It's like, fucking, you learn that when you're 8. It's like, stop it.
Yo, where's the dream in the cheese?
Literally, this girl, she makes beans and she puts them on. She doesn't realize that you're supposed to
You know
take,
what? I don't know if
white
I've-
toast and put that untoasted into the beans.
I've been around a lot of wieners in macaroni
Yeah,
and cheese.
yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking have. That's why you think that the stupid idiot dumb girlfriend isn't loyal. Because
I don't know if I've ever had wieners with macaroni and cheese cut up in them.
fucking blasphemous.
You think you could? Is there any?
Is this wiener kosher?
Well, it's definitely not kosher, but can you? I wonder if you can order that anywhere. Like, is there a restaurant in New York City where you can show up there and be like, I would like macaroni and cheese with wieners in it, please?
I'm not telling you because then you're.
Have you ever
You're gonna
ordered?
go gentrify it. I'm not telling you. I'm not going to tell you my spots where you can go and gentrify it. In Toronto, I used to have this spot where they basically gave meals to homeless people.
Yeah.
And it was near a studio that I was recording at, and you could go there for $3.50. You get like a full breakfast any time of day, and like the fixins.
Sounds like
$3.50
Wow.
Canadian clams.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm never telling you where that is. It was on Carlaw, but that's all I'll tell you.
Carlaw, I'm not going
That's the
out there.
only thing I'll tell you.
Even if I'm in Toronto.
No, because you would try to go gentrified. As soon as I tell you, you would be like telling every buddy of yours. You'd be going, "Can I get a reservation?"
Ryan goes, "You be
Excuse me,
te-
Can I get a
Ryan-
reservation for 18?
You be telling every buddy of yours.
No, this is what
We caught that,
This
Ryan.
is what Danny's gonna be doing. Danny's gonna go with his buddies, and then he's
My
gonna be like,
small hat friends.
he's gonna be like, "Hey, do you mind if we order 4,000 meals today?" And then he's gonna open up a stand outside of it, selling them for the real price.
It's
after he
called
buys them.
breakfast arbitrage.
After he buy, well, I want to buy every breakfast meal that you have today. Then he takes them and sets them outside and sells them for $6.
It's like the Amazon sellers, but it's just like the breakfast version of it.
Well, so anyways, to wrap up this story, the Post has then now approached this man who made the post in the Hong Kong discussion forum for a comment, but he's yet to reply. So we don't know what he thinks about the guys agreeing with him when he's talking
Can't
about
believe they
his dumb,
wouldn't link
stupid
to his
dumb
channel.
girlfriend.
That sucks.
Yeah. Well, they play that in one of his videos I saw.
Yeah. Let him in there.
Love this guy. Well, anyways, the jury's out. You think... I think there's pros and cons. That's what I'll say.
Yeah,
I think
for
that the dumbness versus smartness versus
Worst
hotness
combo,
access.
dumb know-it-all. That's like maybe the worst.
Dumb know-it-alls.
Dumb
with that,
know-it-alls maybe the worst
Because their
combo.
personality has to factor into it a little bit.
Of course, but then you're like, it's a know-it-all, but then all the things that they're know-it-alls about,
95
they're wrong.
IQ know-it-alls the worst type of person.
Really
Period.
bad.
Male or female.
Yeah, agreed. Really bad.
Okay, so speaking of dumb know-it-alls,
Yeah.
so we've been sliding in and out of topics today because I have very good transitions.
Ryan's trans.
Yes. So I brought this up a long time ago, and I've dated girls, and I'm currently, that all believe that they're internet sleuths, right?
Yes.
And I told you that with this guy, so the Idaho murders,
Yeah.
which is like the hot, topic right now. They
Well, the
didn't
guy
know-
got away with it. For a
Guy got
while.
away with it for a while. They didn't know what it was, and it was like turned out to be the craziest thing in the world. And the internet sleuths, which is women that have, it's like canceling on crack.
Yeah.
Because normal canceling, it's like they're like, try to get this fired from his job, blah blah. It's like this one is like, let's find a guy and for something that he didn't do, try to get him imprisoned for life.
Yeah, and like
They
with
get it
very
wrong all
little,
the time.
and again, they're not operating with. It's not like here's all the information available to everybody. do with it what you want.
Right. They don't even have any.
They're like, there's all this information that's private because it's like an ongoing investigation, and you don't have any of it.
They have none of the info.
None.
And a lot of the things that they do, the police have to give out information because they have to be like, please stop doing this. That's not what happened.
Yeah, for sure.
They're like, we've already ruled that person out as a suspect. They have an alibi. Like, and then these people are finding the person's work. A lot of them have like 1 million followers because they built their internet sleuthing media accounts.
Yeah.
And they're always wrong.
Yeah, they're
and then
always wrong.
They basically sick like all these people on it, and there's just some guy that like works at the gym or whatever, some girl that maybe works at the gym also.
Yeah,
and then they've got.
It's like a modern day To Kill a Mockingbird.
Thousands of people commenting, you're going to pay for what you've done.
For sure. I mean, you're like, you murderer. And you're like, what? I was
Yeah.
just like walking down the street.
And a lot of
night.
times it's like their friend that was murdered too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So remember when there was that big talk about that woman who was found on top of the roof? That was the first one where the internet sleuths were really getting out of control.
Yeah.
But I told you, the internet is just exposing people right now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully these people get sued. It sounds like this one chick might get.
Oh, the sister of the hoodie guy seen with the Idaho victims responds to harassment from online sleuths accusing him of murder. And the murderer is actually a pretty crazy thing.
Yeah.
It's this dude that basically...
He's like a Dexter kind of dude. He was like super into criminology.
Yeah.
He was like a criminology student, and he was like he was into that. I mean, some people just have a taste for that shit,
I'm surprised that this hasn't happened more, though. So basically, this guy's watching all these murder docs. He's getting his rocks off, like, how they do.
Yeah.
Basically like a chick. So this guy's, mainlining murder documentaries to the point where he decides he's going to be like a murder major.
Yeah, he's like a PhD criminology student or something.
He wants to be he got his master's in like murdering,
Yeah.
and then his PhD in finding murderers.
Right, yep.
And then he weaseled through his PhD. He basically weaseled this job where he gets to go and interview the killers.
Yeah.
And he's asking them questions like, "What was the thing that got you caught? Like, what
Yeah,
did you regret
yeah.
about?" He's getting all this scoop. I don't know. Do you think he was ready to murder then, or do you think that was like he was getting his taste?
I think he has had a taste for this for a
Had a
long time,
taste
and
for
he's
it.
just like, this is something that has to happen.
Yeah.
The question is, was he trying to murder one of them or all of them? I don't know.
So he's going to the prisons, talking to felons, and then he ends up he tries to go clean, just like the cleanest murder possible. And they did catch him. And you were saying
the craziest thing is how they caught him, which it almost seems like it'll be very hard to commit any kind of crime in the future, like period. It's because the way they caught him is some family, and the same way they caught the Golden State Killer, which was like this guy who was like a cop who was murdering people in the 70s and 80s, and they caught him like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's because one family member of yours at some point on your family tree does a 23andMe, and then that goes into like a database because you don't realize that.
Do you think 23andMe was like sort of a government op?
I mean, if it
convinced
wasn't
everyone to put their DNA in the system.
Yes, and the thing is, it doesn't.
How is 23andMe allowed to like give that to them?
Because they don't. When you do a 23andMe, you're agreeing that like
They can do whatever they want with your data.
like it's in some sort of public thing or
I'm
whatever.
glad I never did one, but some people in my family already did.
Yeah, so dude, if someone in your family,
They did. My grandfather did when he found out he was 2% Jewish.
There you go. So any member of your like family now that becomes a serial murderer will likely get caught.
Well, I guess I won't become a serial murderer then.
That ship sailed.
Yo.
But it is crazy. I mean, I don't know really the ways that could be misused in terms of like maybe falsely accusing people. But yeah, I mean, like that covers a lot of people. If you think about like the degrees of separation stuff, like that probably, one person in your family, one person could cover hundreds.
I think one person's probably done everything,
Yeah.
Yeah, so they basically...
Don't leave that DNA behind people.
Yeah, don't leave that. You got to, and the Drake thing too. Make sure you put hot sauce on your DNA.
Hot sauce on
your
your DNA.
But so these guys, so far, this girl, she's deleted the videos. That's all they ever do is they just delete the video and pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
But she goes, she shares screenshots of the many hateful messages written about this Showalter guy doing an investigation. So this is kind of the actual, when you talk about the other thing and they're like, it's hate speech, these guys being like, I wish my girlfriend was dumb.
Yeah.
Which is like something that girls would say about dudes like all the time.
course.
Like it's so
And
standard.
obviously saying it somewhat jokingly.
Somewhat jokingly. And then And honestly, it wouldn't even affect me if my chick was like, "Oh, Ryan's my boyfriend's so dumb." I would be like, "Yeah, I don't know, whatever."
Well, 'cause we know the truth.
Yeah, we know the fucking truth. What's the truth? That I'm not dumb.
Correct.
Yeah, Danny's got my back.
Yeah.
Are you listening? Because I'm not dumb. You're dumb.
You're dumb. You're dumb, bud.
So then this university professor. Basically, all they do is they have to find a little piece of link. Like the one guy, they found a picture with him, like.
But she's saying
standing
she's
near-
a psychic. This TikTok.
Oh, the next.
That's
This
another-
is the even crazier one. This girl, she's a psychic.
Oh yeah, we're talking right.
Yes. So this other guy, but there's like 5 of them. It's literally like South Park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there should be lawsuit. Like I would be,
Well, this one, they're finally, yes.
Yeah, you can. If someone has getting millions of views on something, calling you a murderer, basically, like, I feel like there should be grounds for some sort of lawsuits.
Well, I don't know if any of them gone through yet, but yeah. So anytime that they look up their name or anything for a job or anything like that, that's what it shows.
Yeah, no, it says here you were accused of
Murder, she wrote.
a murder, multiple murders.
Yeah, you're
character.
basically going for a job, and then you have to show up to your job interview being like, "Oh, it's a misunderstanding." To be honest, if I was gonna hire someone and I looked them up, and the first thing was like, they're top suspect in a murder investigation.
Yeah.
You go, I'll probably wait for that to get cleared up a little.
Yeah. And I imagine you're not giving them tons
Especially since
of
I'm
leeway.
hiring them to do crime, and it's like gonna be a lot of heat on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this person, Texas-based, the Texas-based psychic, said that they use tarot cards to solve mysteries. So, to be honest, you ever hear that they use psychics in the police force every now and then? Is that true?
I don't know. I feel like I've seen some A&E thing where they're like, and the psychic led them right to the thing.
I think one psychic that probably was actually good at, figuring out things, and then that psychic, I can't imagine that psychics have helped with that many. I know they've made 10,000 movies about this and stuff like that, but I can't imagine. This is the peak, like when you say crystals taken to its extreme, this is toxic femininity, where instead of police, they have
guarantee
psychics.
you more psychics have offered to help out and like just
We're
like
good.
Negatively, like where they're like, you just wasted a month of our time on this fucking nonsense. You just like, you let us here. They're like, there's nothing here.
You're just, they're leading you to like shacks in the middle of the woods.
And they're like, I swear it's somewhere.
Yes, but you have to understand, I pulled the magician card. And that's. So this to me is toxic femininity when you've got these. This is where you go, listen, if you want to be into crystals and magic and all, but you better be like a wacky lady at a farmer's market. I don't want a doctor. I don't want the police using.
Look, if there was a fucking crime-solving psychic that was actually reliable, every person on Earth would know their name.
Well, I'll tell you what, if there was a crime-solving psychic that was actually reliable, they would probably switch professions and be a stock market predicting psychic pretty quickly.
Of course. But I mean, I guess if they were like, I don't know what kind of resources it requires, but if you could just call them up being like, hey, where's this body? And they go, it's here, and this person did it. Thanks.
I'm a little busy. Okay, fine. How much you got for me? $10. Okay, he's under the river.
Check the river.
Check the river. So yeah, I'm not picturing a reluctant, like, it's got to be some wacky lady, but there's probably a couple that are like, do you think there's any that's just like some dude named Jim smoking a cigarette? He doesn't want to be, he didn't ask for this gift. He's got a Pornhub shirt on.
No. No, I don't think so. I just don't think.
No, it's a wacky aunt.
Yeah.
It's somehow weaseled her way into being a psychic. And then she's legitimately does her psychics online on TikTok. So she doesn't even get hired by the police. She goes, well, I guess I'll have to work, we'll do our operations tandem. Like you do your operation. You don't interfere with me.
Yeah. You're out of your jurisdiction, pal.
Listen, if you don't want to hire me, that's fine, but just stay the fuck out of my way, pig. Listen, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. You do what you got to do. I'll do what I got to do.
You're doing the cards. You go, I just pulled the pig card out of my way.
Listen, we're both trying to find the body. We both know who's going to get there first. I'll tell you what. When I solve the crime, you can buy me lunch. So that's what this stupid bitch is doing.
Yeah. 2.5 million views on videos accusing a person of murder based on tarot cards.
And then they came out and the cops were like, yeah, we cleared that person so long ago. They legitimately had an alibi. Their prints weren't anywhere near it. Blah, 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 blah. Wasn't...
The problem is too is like I guess it's obvious, but like it's not even like this person. It's just like the idiots who are watching that, and then they're like, we should do something now.
But they're just like, they watch this psychic and no, I know people like this.
Yeah.
They're just like, it really is their sort of dream to be like a PI. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like think about like girls with like the internet a little bit being like, "Ooh, what's this gossip? Like, what's this?" It's like they want to use like gossip, internet sleuthing to solve a murder.
Of course, and their dumb crystal like tarot card shit too. It's like the ultimate.
The best.
It's like the ultimate, like, you know.
It is all their favorite
endorsement
things in the world
of all their stuff to be like, yo,
yes.
You know how you like your boyfriends are saying all this stuff stupid? Well, yes, queen, because we just solved a murder.
Right. It is the ultimate. It's all of their favorite things. It's crystals, murder, them being the hero.
Yeah.
It is the perfect storm. But the problem is they're like legitimately messing people's lives up big time, right? So I don't necessarily endorse this. Listen,
And people who aren't even involved. It's not even like they're just finding some stranger and being like, that guy did it. And the guy's like, what?
Yeah. No, actually,
Yeah, I
if
live
anything,
in the town.
this guy. If anything, I just went to the funeral because it was like a good friend of mine that just died.
Yeah, and they go, that's what the real sick ones do, is they go to the funerals. They want to see that body get put into the ground one last time.
You know, like that's why I was saying it's sort of like South Park. It's just like, because you know how the internet can get people so just like with everyone with the pitchforks running one way and they're like, it was actually that guy, and they're all with the pitchforks running the other way. It really does feel like this because everyone in the comments section that's like on board with the psychic, she was, you know, they'll be like, it was this person. She was like, oh, my reading was actually off as this person. And they're like, let's get him then, you know? And then people are in the comments like, makes me so fucking sick that he could do this.
I wonder how she's saving face. Like, is she like, I used the wrong deck, everybody, my bad.
Well, when they got mad at her before, the person said he was suing her, and she goes, "Yeah, I look forward to him her suing me, but she's gonna have her hands full with a triple homicide case against her. So good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck suing me from an orange jumpsuit. Like, it's gonna be very difficult. I think you're gonna have a lot on your hands trying to sue me when you're getting tried for murder, bitch.
Yeah,
That's
I wonder what
she's saying,
happens.
this
Like,
professor.
yeah, I guess if that woman's
Wasn't even a good guess.
lives in America. But like, what happens if like someone does that and they're like, yeah, I don't live in America. Like, good luck suing me. I live in fucking Europe.
Well, I think that's probably the issue. Yeah, so it's very difficult to sue someone in a different country, right?
Yeah. I saw that Logan Paul says he's going to sue CoffeeZilla.
I heard that too. And what I didn't realize is our buddy Amish has a podcast with CoffeeZilla. He's like a big internet guy.
Yeah.
And I actually did their podcast a couple of times during the pandemic, and I didn't even realize it was that guy.
Well, it wasn't that him at the time. Oh, you're saying now?
I think he still called himself that. No, but that guy's been like so popular. It's all over the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, he's huge.
I see him popping around, and then I was like, who's this guy? And then I didn't realize I'd like done podcasts with him or whatever because of Amish.
Yeah. Anyways, he's making him and Logan Paul mad beef, but Logan Paul's going to sue him.
What do you think of that?
I think it's total shit. I think.
Who do you think? Do you think that Logan Paul thing's a scammer now?
Yeah.
So basically,
I watched the video yesterday, the Logan Paul video. I don't know if you saw it. His rebuttal. His rebuttal.
So basically, he had
Did
this
not look
crypto
good.
zoo. I mean, the truth is, you could probably. I don't think I need to watch. I'll tell you what. I'll be like the internet sleuths on that one, where I go, I'm the internet sleuth that just works on instinct, where I don't have to watch either video.
Yeah.
And you're just like another like YouTuber with like a big crypto Ponzi scheme, and you go, there's some shady stuff involved. And I was like, I think I'm gonna make my ruling on that internet sleuth style.
Logan Paul. The funny thing too is Logan Paul's like, oh well, CoffeeZilla, you failed to mention that all the people who were working on this project were all convicted criminals, and you're like, yeah, but you hired them.
Well, I think isn't what he said that he was like.
He's like my bad. Like
he was like, well, yeah, they scammed me too.
He goes, they scammed me too, because you're like, but this is your project and you hired them. He goes, well,
so
I didn't
you're
hire
still
them.
responsible.
He's like, I didn't hire them. Like the person who I had in charge of that hired them, and you're like, well, at the end of the day, this is you're still responsible for it. He didn't have a lot of people coming to his defense in the comment section.
Yeah, I think that's another thing where you're just like, I don't think that anyone. There's just so many of these right now.
Yeah,
dude, every single. The truth is though, you have to admit that if crypto didn't like crash, all of these could have actually been like making people money.
Of course, it's the Warren Buffett thing. It's like you only know who's swimming naked when the tide comes out.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
However, in this specific case, the tides went down pretty quick. Like same with
Madoff. Madoff only got popped because the great financial crash happened in 2008.
No, but he had a good run. I'm saying all this crypto
he had a really
stuff.
Good run.
It went from like the peak in the pandemic. It was almost like people had like it went from everyone's buying an NFT. Justin Bieber bought this thing to like 5 months later, it was like everyone lost all their money.
Yeah.
All these things are a scam. And then I guess now afterwards, people are like, yo, this thing was flimsy. And it was like, yeah, because they all required this thing to keep going up.
For sure. But also, I guess they're saying that with his thing is they're like, well, we were promised a game at the end of the day, like at least and then he goes,
the game's coming.
He goes, the game's coming.
Yeah,
Who said the game's not coming? The game's
Sure.
coming. And of course you're like, well, this is the thing that has to save your ass. I guess the game's coming.
I hope the game comes out and it's just like basic Pong.
It's like
Crypto Pong.
it's the latest
Crypto
thing.
Pong.
You're like, adults are like, I put 480 grand into this egg and there was supposed to be a lizard inside, but I couldn't open the egg. And you're like, I don't know.
No one's buying the
I'm not feeling bad for anybody involved, to be honest, but just watch like the people
as a
who,
fellow man that got
yeah, as a fellow swindlee. I'm just like, yeah, dude, this shit happens.
You don't think that does that bother you seeing like other swindlers where you're just like you're all the same, you fucking
Other swindlers? No. Well, no. I mean, people. I guess there's some things where he made promises that he didn't keep. I guess that's a different thing. But for people to be like, my egg's not worth as much as I thought it would be worth, you're like, yeah, that's okay.
I do see how, like, listen, if you are a big, like, star or whatever, and every person's being like, for a while, every person would be like, hey, you got to start your own whiskey line. You got to start your own perfume line. You can make millions. This guy made millions. This guy made, and then all of a sudden, every team in the world's coming up to you and being like, hey, you have to start your own NFT. Look at this one, just did it, and everyone's making money. You're like, okay, I'll do an NFT thing. And before you know it, you're like, yo, you just are at the head of a pyramid scheme. You're
totally.
like, what?
You're like, you're the face of a giant fucking scam.
Yeah, you're like, wait, what?
You're like, this is one of like that I do agree with. Where I'm like, it's probably one of like 50 things he was doing. But I guess he was hyping it up like on his shows and everything.
Sure, yeah.
Talking about it a lot. It wasn't one of those things where he's like, yeah, I got a whiskey coming out.
No, I'm not trying to be a apologist or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm saying out of the like tons of people that did it, I'm sure that there's some that they just got like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, if everyone's doing it, okay, I'll do it.
Of course.
Like people are so
That's
like that.
literally what it was.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I've gotten offered, like, what's that? I won't even name them, but there's like, I've told you, but like, I got offered like big stakes in all these like weirdo cryptos to like promote it on this show and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you're just like, no, I'm not getting involved in all those. And to be honest, like 2 or 3 of the ones that people were like, yo, get involved with this, like, 6 months later, I see all these YouTube videos popping up being like, yeah, that's a fucking huge scam.
Yeah, huge scam.
But I at the time, I was just like, probably is a scam, but also I was just like, I don't know enough about this stuff.
Yeah, like you have to basically, if you're willing to promote it, you have to be allowed to say in the promotion, you're like, this might be a scam. And then they don't want you to say that, but you're like,
no, they want you to be on the thing and being like, holy shit. No, what they want you to do is
all the word Moon Boys unite, mount up.
Yeah, they want you to like change your whole thing where you go, listen, we're wearing moon shoes. Listen up, fellow moon boys. And you have like money coming out of your pockets and stuff like that. We just have a big
floating because we're in space.
We just have a big bag of cash on the table. Like, listen, all you moon boys, we're gonna buy some. You cannot go wrong here. With the fucking
with the moon coin, which is probably a real thing.
Yeah. So, anyways, we tried to start a boys coin, but it didn't work out.
No, they wouldn't.
But that was only going to be like basically like a
That
replacement
would be
for
like
a Patreon.
that would be like a fan club kind of thing.
Yeah, it was going to be a different thing. But anyways, these psychics have been ruining lives right and left, so we can move on from that. Fellas, going to take a quick second here to tell you about Babbel. One of the most exciting parts of the new year is that you've got no idea what adventures are in store for you, from new travel experiences to new jobs, picking up new skills. There's no better way to prepare for 2023 than learning a new language with Babbel. Babbel's the language learning app that's sold more than 10 million subscriptions. Thanks to Babbel's addictively fun, bite-sized language lessons, you can feel confident no matter what the new year takes. You want to get in on this. Babbel, you only need 10 minutes to complete a lesson. You can start having real-life conversations in a new language in as little as 3 weeks. If you want to, maybe you're going to French places, you're going to Quebec, or even the real French places, and you want to pick up these, you want to pick up some of these Italian broads, perhaps, some of these Spanish broads, perhaps, whatever you need it for. Maybe you're just trying to impress the current girl. Maybe you're just trying to impress the current guy. You're trying to look like a cool guy. You want people to think you're cultured. Maybe you want to actually actually be cultured. Babbel is the easiest way to do it. Other language apps use AI for their lessons, but Babbel lessons were created by over 150 language experts and voiced by real native speakers on computers. There's so many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition to the lessons, you gain access to podcasts, games, videos, stories, and even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Their teaching method's been scientifically proven to be effective. You can learn over 14 languages. So right now, get up to 55% off, high ticket, 55% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/boyscast. That's babbel.com/boyscast for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. Next, I got to tell the fellas about FitBod. We've been telling you about FitBod. I use FitBod. Now, you want to be a jacked man. It's the new year. If there's never been a more time that you want to get committed to getting in shape, you know that you want to do it right this year, and FitBod is the way to do it. Make a New Year's resolution you can commit to, and FitBod is that resolution. You may not know this, but there's an easy and affordable way to build a fitness plan just for you. Try FitBod this year. See if that works for you better than some of these other ones. Before you go to the gym, you stand around, get a fitness plan that's cheaper than a session with a trainer. The FitBod app creates a workout that's personalized to your fitness goals, fitness level, and available equipment. It learns from your previous workouts and adapts as you improve, so you can keep the momentum going all the way to next year and beyond. My favorite thing about FitBod is the fact that it changes the workouts as you grow, and also whatever you have available. If you're in different gyms, if you're traveling, it will create workouts based on the tools that you have available at the time. You just pick a fitness goal, add your equipment, and FitBod will create a workout routine for you. The app switches up your exercises to avoid overtraining or burnout, and your program changes based on your personal progress for maximized results. Whether you work out in a weight room or your bedroom, FitBod's got a plan for you. A full year of FitBod's less than the cost of a single lesson with a personal trainer. So join FitBod today and build a routine that lasts all year. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free at fitbod.me/boyscast. That's fitbod.me/boyscast. However, you've sort of brought up all this internet drama and stuff like that, but so one thing that you told me is the Dana White thing. You mentioned that you were unhappy about it because you watched the video and you were sort of pissed.
I thought he should have hit her harder.
Well, yeah, you said like you were mad that his girlfriend was so mouthy. I didn't know he was like that. Or
Yeah,
something like
I
that.
was like more of a wind-up, Dana. Let's see that high school pitching skills I know you got.
And then
there.
what I said was, Daniel, I said verbatim, word for word, I said, Daniel, polish Chuck.
Yeah.
The mouth.
Look, I've been very consistent.
I said she should hit you.
I've been very consistent in my life. You should never hit a woman unless she deserves it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you should never hit Dana White.
That's a good
I've been
Her
consistent.
UFC career is fucked.
I have been on record for the last 10 years saying anybody touches Dana White.
It is weird though that she hit him and then it wasn't like into like a chokehold of some sort.
I'll
Like
tell
to-
you
to,
what.
you know, to kind of
that
like
video
wrap her
was
up.
a tough watch, buddy.
Yeah.
That watching that, because here's the thing. I have that thing in me where it's like, okay, imagine like stabbing someone or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would you never accidentally stab someone? It's like, well, because that's not in my repertoire of things I would do, right?
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't like accidentally hit a girl because it's just not in my like repertoire of things I would do.
Accidentally hit a girl?
No, but like you don't go like, oh, I got carried away, I was too drunk, I would never do that. Like that would just never happen to me
No.
because it's not in my like repertoire.
No, I'm not no.
Do you remember that one?
But I mean, I guess it's one of those things where it's like if a chick's just hitting you over and over again, then you're like, at some point, I feel like I might snap. I don't know.
I think that's the question. How tough's the girl? Like, there is a point where it's like, imagine
She's
some
probably
like,
training with fucking like George St. Pierre or some shit as her personal trainer.
well, it does sort of. But that it wasn't watching the thing. It was like a normal like woman punch.
Yeah, I was like and then I don't know.
He came out and sort of has like a big like, I've never done that before, a heartfelt apology, no excuse for this. So there's not a crazy amount more to say. But one of the interesting things that it sort of did bring up on the internet that everyone sort of, obviously like these are times when it's like, okay, so you admit they're not equal then. You know what I mean?
I mean, that is the most obvious thing. Is you're like, are men and women equal? No.
But the interesting thing that was kind of like, was thinking about was by law, it is probably the same law. Like if a girl comes up and hits a guy and a guy comes up and hits a girl, they're both actually are assault.
Of course. Yeah. Right. I don't think there's any like in the law for like a violence against a woman versus violence. It's just violence.
Maybe it's a hate crime but
no, I don't
so the reason that I think it would never get prosecuted is because no guy would have the guts to press charges where the cops come after the girl slapped you and you call the cops and you're like, do you want to press charges? And you go, yes.
Well, I mean, there's no shortage of episodes of Cops that I've seen where, they show up for a domestic dispute and then a lot of times it's just based on like what marks there are on you. So if the guy has like a scratch and he's bleeding and she's got nothing on him, she's going away. It's not even up to the guy to press charges. They
so
get
what about
called
this
on a
then?
domestic.
Wouldn't this have to not
This
be
was
up
in
to Dana
like
White
fucking Puerto Rico or something.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
He's
This
like
wasn't even in America.
He's off the reservation.
Yeah. This wasn't in America. I guess Puerto Rico's kind of America, but like not. But it wasn't in America. That happened. It was like so I saw.
But so if that happened here, would it be like not up to him to press charges?
I don't know. I think it's like state by state kind of thing. But I do know that like I've seen on Cops where they show up and they go like, yeah, he's got blood on his face, so you got to go, and like they arrest her.
So then what happens though? Because I guess a lot.
I
of
don't know about charges being pressed, but they arrest.
I would assume what happens is like the judge doesn't give as harsh of a sentence kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like if a guy comes in and the girl's got a black eye, it's one thing. But if the guy comes in and the girl like slapped the guy and the guy's sitting there and the judge is like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, max you're doing a couple hours community service.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine.
I don't think women.
That, though, your girlfriend slapped you and then she did it 2 years. But like if you punched your girlfriend in the face, you're doing like time.
Yeah. I don't know if you'll actually go to jail, but you'll.
That's what you think, huh?
For punching your girl in the face? Like, will you go to jail?
You don't think so?
Like, you'll be incarcerated?
You don't think you'll have
like? I think you'll go through the system and you'll like.
You get a few warnings.
I mean, no. You might have some sort of community service, some sort of fine, some sort of like treatment.
I think they take
I don't know if that's
domestic
like
violence pretty seriously.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like for your first thing, like I don't know if that's like.
So you think it's first one's free?
It's not free. It's going to cost you a lot, actually. But are you going to be incarcerated because of that? I would say no.
Interesting.
But I do wonder, like, do women and men, like, I'm sure there's some stats on this, like, for the same crime, do they get the same amount of time?
I think
guess no.
Well, that's the point I was making. Technically, yes, but they're all a variant and it's up to the judge. And the judge is always going to judge the guy harsher.
Yeah.
So it's same as like divorce court or whatever. The rules aren't supposed to be in her favor, but it's just that's how the judges call it.
Yeah.
Or anything. Like girls get softer sentences for things. That's just like a known fact.
Yeah,
you
girls
know?
are treated better, have it better than...
It's just a softer sentences is the big one, yeah, for sure, among a few other things, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just told you the one, remember the one, did I tell you the one time that I tried to white knight? Where I was outside of basically, I was like in deep Brooklyn, and there was this guy that was yelling and screaming, and then he started hitting his wife. And then And then I got involved, and then basically I was like, okay, hey, what's going on here? Like,
Is that with the chicken or something?
I said, excuse me.
Excuse me. No, you were like, excuse me. Excuse me.
And then
excuse me.
Excuse me. Yeah, I was eating food. I was like, guys. Guys. I was like, what did you do? But then, so basically I came up and I was just like, hey, like, this has got to stop sort of thing. Like, what are you doing? Sort of thing, right? Like trying to stop it, but not necessarily like, you want to fight her, you fight me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, and then the guy, he was like, no, you don't understand. She already ate and she's trying to get a second meal and this and that. And then he looked at me and he was like, oh, those are cool tattoos, bro. And the girl's like, yo, what is that at school? And they both like turned to me and started talking about my tattoos. And it was just like,
wow, this is like normal for both of them.
Yeah. And they both like turned to me and started having like a super normal conversation with me. And it was just like, All right, so you guys.
Good luck with all that.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to. New York is not a city you want to fuck. I left the stand the other night, just around here in Union Square, crossing the street to go to the subway, and there's this dude wearing looked like honestly like Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat. Like he was like a sketchy guy. He was this
Sure.
white, long, like crazy colorful coat, and then he tripped as he was crossing like the street, and I was like walking right by him, tripped, and a giant knife falls out of his like this big probably.
Awkward.
And he goes and he falls, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, just like a giant knife. And I was like, and I just kept walking, and he picked it up, and he like laughed. He's like, oh, haha. He's like, oh, whoops, I dropped my shit. And he like put it in, and he just like walked away. I was like,
That's
and
like
then last night, leaving the studio, walking away, there's a dude walking to the subway, face completely bloodied, just like walking down the street. And
eating out a girl on her period.
they just passed a law in New York State where they won't if you're under 12 years old, you cannot be prosecuted for any crime other than murder.
So basically, you got to get the kid. Dude, so many kids are going to be in gangs now.
Dude, well, did you see that kid, the football player kid? Remember? And that kid's like a monster.
Exactly.
He's 12 years old. You get that kid.
That's what everyone's going to be doing, is getting kids to be in the gangs. I've seen The Wire. That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's how you do it. You can't. But anyways, apparently you could be imprisoned or arrested if you were as young as 7 years old in New York State up until a few days ago.
They put you in jail at 7?
I mean,
I don't think they
you
put you
do
in.
The crime, you do the time, Ryan. No, seriously.
They're not putting you in jail.
I looked it up.
7.
New York State arrested 8. New York State in 2019.
But they almost get like community service or something.
Yeah. But
they put them in juvie.
They don't even arrest them now, though. But they arrested over 800 kids.
What's the reason for this? I didn't get it.
Just because they say that, like, if you're under 12 years old, you're just like, no, yes, but also I guess they're saying you're like not mentally capable of
except for
committing
murder,
a crime, except for homicide. But like an attempted murder, like,
do you think that was the guy?
Not arrestable offense for an 11-year-old.
Nah.
Dude, if I was 11 in New York, I'd be
cooking so many crimes, dude. Those guys are just walking around.
Teachers just like fucking.
Oh, teachers would be getting fucking smoked, dude.
Being smoked in the cafeteria,
kicking their legs out. Just like teachers that like you used to be your old teacher, just the standing behind them while the guy pushes them like right and left. What are you gonna do about it, Mr. Coops?
Yeah,
you bitch.
Yeah, so you just gotta watch.
I told you I had like the one friend that was like the public confrontation. That's why I was like, even if Dana White was like the type of guy that would get into these sort of situations or whatever, or no, like even if he was the type of guy that's like done this before, which he says he's not, and I have no idea, obviously, but it does seem to me like he would be smarter than to be like in a crazy public place, like hitting his, like it just seems like,
yeah, I mean, for sure.
I would have assumed he was like a fairly like smart dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's on
one of the most underrated influential men, like the extent to which he's influential.
Insanely so. Yeah. I mean, I guess he was maybe like, I'm at a nightclub, not in America. I'm like in my private section. It was just
I
like,
don't know.
Someone happened to be filming him from like down in the lower level, but also he's jacked up on T, man.
You think he's jacked up on T and that's what happened?
Fuck yeah, look at him.
Sure.
Dude, he's on all the like TRT,
people are
human
crazy,
growth
though.
hormone, and then you're drinking, and then your wife starts hitting you in the face.
You just grab her hands though, and you're that big.
Yeah, I
so
would
simple.
Go for a face palm.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do that. Yeah. But like I told you, there was one guy that's like pretty like well-known dude that he was texting me, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm these fucking just got in like a fight with a homeless guy outside of my house, and like, then he tried to put his tent up, so I ripped it down, and he's yelling at me, and we got into a big fight. It's like, this city's crazy. And I was like, this guy's like famous. And I was just like, what are you doing, buddy? I was like, can you imagine like, I don't know, any like actor guy or any like, famous personality, like real, actual, like popular, just having like a video of them like ripping down homeless guys' tents. I was like, are you crazy?
Tough
like,
luck.
That's why I'm just like, how do you be a public person and not be like so?
Yeah, you gotta be for sure. I mean, you gotta be way more careful with that shit.
I mean, I just think it's like. That to me seems just like obvious. Where I'd be like, "What? How are you?
Yeah.
How'd you?"
I mean, I'm sure he
up?
regrets. I'm sure he was like, "I wish I just walked away." But also, she shouldn't have put his hands on him. I mean, she's
You
not,
were so mad about that.
she's not blameless.
That's what did. Well, no, obviously not. But it was one of those things where it doesn't matter who's blameless. Like if that happened, no one cares. You know what I
No,
mean? So
of
there's
course.
like blames, and then there's the scenario
Yeah.
where you go, who gives a shit? Like, does anyone really like give a shit what she did?
No,
Like, you know what I mean?
no.
Like, is he in any more hot water or whatever? So it's like they're just, you can say they're what you think is, well, like that's the same reason why he's not going out there and being like, just so you know, like partially her fault. Although he did sort of slip that in because he was like, you know, and I've apologized to her, she's apologized to me. Like he sort of slipped in that she was also sorry.
She was at fault.
He goes, you know, and I know that I'm 100% at fault. I've also been apologized to. Not that I needed it, but that has happened. She's admitted some
It
fault.
is crazy though. I mean, we've said this before with other people, but it's like you could reach the absolute stratosphere of success in your life. You still cannot avoid this shit.
You can't avoid that.
You can't avoid.
That's why they're saying you need a dumb, stupid idiot.
Honestly, but she might be too dumb, and then she has that dumb strength or whatever. I don't know, but like
Dumb strength.
it's unavoidable.
That is
you
the
can have
real-
the perfect life, and then like everything going for you, and you still just have a chick giving you problems.
Never ends,
Never
right?
fucking ends. You're like, I'm taking you all over the world. All this stuff. We're going to Puerto Rico
With my
for
cage
New
fighting
Year's,
money.
With my cage fighting millions and millions, and she's still just like piece of shit.
Yeah.
Fucking slaps you.
What
in
the fuck
And
are
again,
you
it's like
doing?
not even like slaps you in private. You're
Yeah.
like, everybody knows Dana White.
You're
like,
publicly
She's hitting you in
getting-
public. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's like hitting like the mob boss in public, like the wife. You're like, what are you supposed to do?
So you're saying
like she's staying with her mother, and you never see her again.
you're saying you sort of that's how you'd react as well.
As what?
You sort of in your mind it's tit for tat. That's
No,
what
I'd
happens.
go closed hand.
in the
No, I'd go closed hand. I'd go, excuse me, I'd put on the brass knuckles, and I go, yeah.
you have a little taser that you just give a little fucking taser. to the
Taser is
ribs.
actually a good move right
A
there. 'cause
tiny taser
Nobody,
under the
everybody
ribs.
looking at her, she goes, I don't know what happened. His
Yeah.
arms were to his sides.
But
and
like
she
the
just
lowest
dropped.
amount, like you just have a little like tase under the ribs. That's how you keep them. And she goes, "What?" You go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." So, but are you happy or sad that? Okay, so speaking of scams that we are sort of mentioned the Logan Paul thing or whatever, but and I did a video this week was about all the guys that are getting rich by telling you how to get rich kind of thing,
That's fine.
and that like kind of did pretty good. And so the last few months has been such a hot topic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then. So the FTX founder, who was a friend of yours, pleads not guilty. How do you feel about that? And what's your predictions for the new year for his future?
I think he's, from the sounds of it, sounds like he's fucked because Carolyn Ellison and the other guy.
So why is he pleading not guilty then?
I think that's just a formality at the moment. You just, regardless of what
Because
you
the
do.
plea deal they offered him was still probably life in prison, so there was no point in taking a deal.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the two people are like cooperating with the government. They've pled guilty to all charges, and like even with their pleas, they're facing 110 years each. So
All of them are going to jail forever.
well, I guess the whole thing is they're going to go to jail for less time. No, like Sam Baker-Fields, he's not going to jail for life, but he'll get, my guess is he gets somewhere in. My guess is he'll spend somewhere in the range of actually 10 years in jail.
What? That's it?
Yeah, because you don't even serve your whole sentence, right?
Well, if you get 110 years, you think.
No, they're not getting 110 years. That's like they say that's like the max if you're guilty on
Okay.
every single thing. I don't.
It's a big law episode today.
Yeah, my guess is he'll serve somewhere in the realm of 10 to, I don't know. 15,
Kanye West
15
is
years.
missing. There's lots going on right now.
Is he missing?
No, I don't think so. But this is where the rumors are.
I think he just did every podcast that will have him. That he's like, he doesn't want to slum it to come on like the BOYSCAST basically. So he's like that, like that's we're the next tier down. Essentially,
we are one tier down.
We're like
yeah.
one tier down. He goes like he kind of was like, that's all I can do.
That's all the big-
Nick
that's-
Fuentes. Is this all that's available? He's like, kinda, yeah,
We talked to Tim Pool. We talked to.
yeah. You like you did that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's
They're
not-
like, you want to go on like Turning Point USA? He's like, not really.
Yeah. He did. Yeah. Probably a lot of the black ones won't have him anymore after.
No,
the
that's too spicy.
debacle.
Yeah, too spicy. No, like normal person. Like
He
no-
already did like Pierce Morgan's and that sort of circuit.
Yeah.
The big radio one. That's one thing too, is like, we know some people that know him now and none of them are posting about it. And they're all pretty into conspiracies. So if there was like a conspiracy where they thought he was missing and the Matrix got him, I definitely think that people would be posting.
What do you think he did
it.
for Christmas? That's what I want to know. That is honestly, I want to know what December.
Do you know what I actually think?
Yeah.
I think that he's got probably still a couple like hot models that he's got on the run, and he's probably smashing one of them.
Just that's his Christmas day. It's just
it was either that or him and like Nick Fuentes watch like Schindler's List.
No, they watched like a YouTube stream of a church service somewhere, like a really good one.
We probably did some church oriented stuff, yeah. But then the Andrew Tate thing too. It was like everything was happening this week, you know.
I know the top G.
I think I'm gonna do a video about it, but I was loving the idea of the normal guy, just because I was sort of saying it in my normal life, just anything that's like, why didn't you do this? It's like, yeah, you don't know. It's like the Matrix is after me. Just everything that happens is the Matrix.
The bots, the NPCs, the Matrix are coming after me.
It was like, why'd you miss your spot? It's like, the Matrix, like, it's like the idea of like your credit card, like you got called, like, oh, they're taking down. That's how they do. They take down your financials. My credit card got taken away. It's like, yes, because you haven't paid it. And it was like, it's the Matrix.
I had to declare bankruptcy.
Yeah, I had to declare bankruptcy because of the Matrix. Like, no, you're just in overdraft.
Yeah, you just refuse to pay your bills.
Hey, someone from the Matrix is trying to. Hey, if you don't mind, if someone from the Matrix is going to be calling, asking for money in a little bit. You're like, yeah, that's a creditor. Yes, a creditor for the Matrix.
I'd want to use that excuse on my girlfriend, but then I'd have to explain to her what the Matrix is, and that would take so long that I go like,
the fucking student. The Matrix is trying to get me to pay off my student loans. This fucking Matrix officer, aka the student loan officer. I was liking that, the idea of being like, the Matrix doesn't want me talking about masculinity at my job. It's like, you're a grade 2 teacher, and he was like, you're a grade 2 teacher talking about like, it's a woman's job to do this. Women should not be in the workplace and blah blah. And they're like, you're a substitute teacher for grade 2, and you're like, yeah, sorry, the Matrix doesn't want me talking about these things in my workplace.
I hate the Matrix.
Or you're like a call center operator, and it's just like everyone's calling, and you're just like, I'll tell you another fucking thing. It's like, yes, you're a call center operator. You keep getting fired.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the Matrix.
So that was it. But so one of the things I was going to say was,
what do you think will happen? Do you have a prediction for the Tate?
Well, I'll tell you what. If I was going on, the one thing I will say on the conspiratorial side, is that it is like impossible to ignore the idea that you go, every big guy, and the argument on the other side, like when you go, Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, Kanye West, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Like all these guys, once it's hard to ignore that, like once they became the most hated guy, lo and behold, they like found something like if Alex Jones was not the most hated guy, they wouldn't have like bankrupted him the way they did and have the $250 million trillion thing. It was Kanye West. I mean, his is a little maybe more different because it was like relationships with the specific people, and he was actually hurting the company, you could say. Yeah. But like the Andrew Tate thing, it was like, okay, why didn't this happen like before? It was like, so I don't know. There is something to be said about like, as soon as someone becomes like the biggest guy in the world and he is hated, it's like lo and behold, they like find something.
Sure. I mean, you do bring a lot of attention to yourself though. Like, you are bringing this crazy amount, like in the event that he is actually guilty of some sort of crime, which I don't know. I'm not saying that, but like, cause I was watching
he gave an interview afterwards.
But he does legit admit to things that are like pretty borderline crimes all the time in these interviews.
I thought that too, when he was talking about on the, like, I can't remember what podcast, but he was basically talking about, probably multiple, but he was talking about how he scammed the guys out of money. And he was like, basically we had the girls being an OnlyFans guy and then saying we're going to run away from him. He just needs to send money to this bank account, blah, blah. And it was like, kind of like, pretty much like admitting to like extortion or something.
Yeah, and like I've heard, like he's admitted to many things that you're like, these are definitely... I'm not saying this is necessarily a crime, but if you make yourself one of the most famous people on earth, and another thing too is like he shits on Romania in the sense that he's like, yeah, you can live in Romania, just commit all the crimes you want, and then I imagine there's some person in Romania who's like, well, we don't really want that as our like reputation. So maybe like we should start looking into this guy. And
well, do you think the United States government reaches out? And this is, I guess we don't know what we're talking about, but do you think that the United States government higher ups, the elites, messaged like the Romanian contacts and were like, listen, this guy's got to go?
Possibly. Do you think who has a better chance of being the next president?
But I don't think he's. I think that he could walks on this. That's my question.
Yeah, I'm guessing he will walk. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he walks on this.
Do you think he could ever be president? He's an American citizen.
Maybe.
Born in America.
Oh, he's an American citizen?
Born in America, yeah, even though he has that weird accent because he moved when he was a little kid.
Okay, so he could be president.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Top G is president. Top Prez.
Top G and Kanye card. Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I kind of felt like obviously who knows what happened, but there is something to be said about, he did a funny interview after when he comes out and he was just like, he goes, he was like, it's all lies. He was like pretty high spirits. And he was like, the girl wasn't even hot. Her boyfriend basically, she was at her house for a party and she told her boyfriend these lies and blah, blah, blah.
That was the old one. That was not the most.
That was an old one?
No, he's still in jail.
Oh, he's still in jail.
Yeah,
he's tweeting though. How's he tweeting?
They're like his team or they're planned or something. He's not out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know the Top G's.
He's still in prison?
And his brother.
I thought he was doing streams and stuff.
No. There's so much.
It's hard to keep track of it.
It is because there
now.
was one person who was like, he's out, and then you're like, no, that was from the last time he got or whatever.
So he's currently in prison
in Romania. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't.
Unless the Matrix is tricking me.
It's hard to know what's the Matrix and what isn't the Matrix right now.
Imagine he comes out and he goes, that was a part of me was with all the stuff he does. I was like, I wonder if he like hired actors to raid his house and then like they could just tell CNN, you're like, oh, this guy got raided, and then they would just run it.
You literally don't know, dude. I stopped taking Viagra because I stay away from blue pills. Period, my friend.
No blue pills.
I'm just not in the market right now. I got to keep the Matrix. I'm telling you, it could be coming for you next.
I know.
Not to imagine they make Polishuk freed. They make some connection.
Yeah, of course.
Turns out you're in that pyramid.
Well, it's just like I walked by him like one day on a street,
the internet
and then
sleuths,
there's like
internet sleuths find Danny there, and then the government has some reason they want to talk because you've been talking out against the Matrix and saying that everyone should have a stupid dumb girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, Danny's going to jail for tax evasion.
Yeah.
That's what happens. They always get you on something else when they want to take you down, though.
Oh, definitely.
It's all these rappers right now.
It's wire fraud. That's like the craziest thing. Everybody always gets just wire fraud. That's what you get. America made this. I don't know if
you know why, right?
Why?
How?
Or how?
Yeah, you know what the wire fraud
It's
thing
like
is,
using
right?
the wires.
You literally just make a phone call across state wires.
But I'm saying that's how they did it. They just go, yeah, you can't use our wires. And then you're like, but that's how they get you on that's like
I know.
Even Sam Bankman-Fried, most of his charges are just wire fraud.
It is like a catch-all. Rico's the same thing where they go, you're just like,
but that's like a different one because they have all these different, like they can bug your house without warrants once it's like a Rico case. This is just straight up, they go, yeah, you use the wires to commit a crime. Mm-hmm. And we made that super illegal.
But they don't need a specific charge when they have Rico charges. They're just like, it's like, we think you're running a gang.
That's why we should get into fucking carrier.
That's the rappers. If you follow any of this rap stuff, 90% of it right now is who's ratting on who and who's going to jail. And like all these guys, their like record label was also sort of a gang. And it was like, that was one of those things where all the other guys were like, there's every old rapper that was like if you think about like Snoop Dogg, he has like a million songs about like how, I sex trafficked girls, I was an actual pimp and all this sort of stuff. Like, you think those guys would be like sweating a little bit?
I guess. Maybe they have enough, I don't know, deniability or...
Well, who knows what it is. But like, so with all the Tate stuff where you go, I honestly have no idea what would happen. But to me, it feels like whether or not there is merit, it feels like there's got to be some like correspondence between the like governments. I just feel like I
mean, especially someone I would
even if it was he did something, I would say that like it just feels like it always comes right when they need it. You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah. But like the people saying like, oh, his pizza box, that's how the road. Like I don't think that
was that true. I feel like that wasn't true.
That was idiotic. That went. But like that tweet.
Every
had like
person said it was true. I
thought.
I felt like that didn't even make sense to me.
Well, you're like, wait, you think the only way they could figure out if he's in Romania is by a pizza box?
That didn't
on
make
a
any
photo?
sense.
They're like they're that inept.
Yeah, I know.
They're like they can't figure out if he's in the country.
I know everyone was posting it too. It didn't make any sense.
Well, that's because they didn't like him, so that's their dunk, being like, should have recycled your pizza boxes.
Well, they're in the Matrix.
They're all in the Matrix. They're a bunch of NPCs in the Matrix. They're bots.
They're in the beta tricks. You're not even in the Matrix. You're in the Matrix.
Do you think there's like there's like Patriot supplies? Do you think there's Matrix supplies? Well, like just like the next level up from Patriot supplies, Matrix supplies.
It's just like wires that go in to feed you through your tubes.
Just whatever, yeah. Matrix, yeah. Like lots of just nutrition pills
that you're gonna need once everyone's in the Matrix, but you,
yeah.
And you're the only one not in your pod.
Last person not in your pod. Yeah.
I wonder if I would suck if like everyone was in the Matrix but you, and you're the only.
Yeah, you're the last holdout of the Matrix, and everybody's like just like having the best time in the Matrix.
Matrix is cooking.
Yeah, you're just like,
which is like basically the
pretty
metaverse
stubborn.
would be like the Matrix, right?
Yeah, but you're so stubborn. You're just like, just won't go.
You literally become like Kevin Costner, just sort of like roaming the streets, like with tumbleweeds, all like you're Will Smith and I Am Legend, just like the last guy.
I was
that
gonna
won't be
say
in the-
Kevin Costner. I was like, in what the post?
I was picturing
Waterworld or Waterworld.
I'm just
yeah,
picturing
yeah.
him post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner and Box Office Poison. That was the biggest bomb of all
It
time.
was such a bomb, but it wasn't honestly the worst.
It wasn't the worst movie, but they spent
It's 'cause
$10 trillion. You don't even really know what they
money.
spent it on. It's just a lot of jet skis. Like, I'm not really sure. Like, if
Yeah.
you watch the movie, you're like, how did they spend $1 trillion? And you're like, I don't know. I guess they souped up the jet skis a lot.
Yeah, marketing budget.
Gonna take another quick break to tell you about Athletic Greens. Listen, I take Athletic Greens every single day. Danny takes Athletic Greens every single day. Many people in the podcasting space, many people in the health space, Ricky Gervais, Joe Rogan, you've heard the names. Now, Athletic Greens is something that I first came across when I think I heard Tim Ferriss, to be honest, talking about it.
Yep.
And I wanted better gut health, increased energy, immune support system. The main reason probably is that you're taking all these different things, and this is one, instead of taking all these pills and vitamins, one supplement that actually tastes great. So I take it every morning before I run, makes you feel like you can take the day on, you're ready to go, you're ready to get it done, take the day, bend it over. You want to do something good for your body, and giving it the nutrition it craves is the move before you even start your daily work. You just take one scoop and you put it in a glass of water, plus there's the travel packs, shake it up. It's the healthiest thing that you can do in under a minute, and that you can take to the bank. I'm always looking for ways to improve the health, ways to improve performance. You know, if you're not sleeping a lot, one of the things you definitely want to be healthy. And this is why the all-in-one formula makes it easy for me to cover my nutritional bases every day. Every scoop's packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality that give me major benefits like gut and mood support, boosted energy, and even healthier looking skin, hair, and nails. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Just go to athleticgreens.com/boyscast. That's athleticgreens.com/boyscast so they know the fellas sent you, and check it out. Okay, so the reason I was saying this is that I went through a lot of these side hustles and stuff like that, all these pages that are trying to sell different ways to make money when I was doing this sketch.
Yeah.
And I looked through and I found like some of the funniest ones.
Okay.
And I found like 3 or 4 articles that me and Danny looked through. And I just like put them up a little bit in the sketch, but it's like, it honestly is so funny. The pitches, side hustles is by far the best, right?
Yeah.
Because the normal ones are all just like affiliate marketing, crypto. Like a lot of them are just stuff where you're just like, yeah, it's a thing that probably some people have made money on, but most of the time, anytime it becomes somewhat trendy, it's already too late.
Yeah. Once it becomes super, especially anything that requires like you running ads on like Google or something, like once the whole reason those things ever work
Exactly.
is because people aren't doing them.
So once it becomes like on these lists, it's already kind of over. Even like Airbnb, that's what I was saying. It was like the people buying Airbnb, it's like there's so many people that like have Airbnbs right now, and they essentially like, you know, it's rented out sometimes and not other times, and you're like, you're net like you would have had $300 more if you just had a tenant.
If you had a tenant, for sure. But I guess in times when we're really good, then you have that upside.
But they're all the like side hustle ones are funnier because they're how to make like a little bit of extra money. They're not even
Yeah.
get rich. And a lot of them are the Airbnb like just Airbnb your room and sleep on the couch. And now you just got like some weirdos.
It's funny because
You got some weirdos sleeping in your room while you sleep on the couch to like make $40.
yeah, it is funny because this was a fairly recent article. It's like 2 months old, and some of these are already made obsolete by the AI. Like,
Oh, like the Fiverr stuff?
Well, one of them has become a freelance writer or proofreader or whatever. But you're like the freelance writing thing. Like a lot of that is if you use ChatGPT right now, you're like it's already obsolete.
Sure. A lot of those are really like it's keep yourself busy. Like you're
Yeah.
It's almost like, do you have a spouse that actually makes a living, but you need to kind of pretend that you're busy a little bit?
And some of these are just like, this is like, yeah, it's a side hustle, but you're like, it's not really a side hustle. Some of these are jobs.
So there's lots of different categories. The first category, let's do that. The first category is ones that they say are side hustles that are just straight up a job.
Yeah, just a job. It's like landscaper. You're like, it's just a job. I mean, yeah, you could do it part time. Like, yeah, go in your neighborhood.
Yes, you
could. Who needs landscaping services? And then if you become too successful,
correct.
you now have a job.
You could work part time as like a firefighter, and then not firefighter's not even the right one because that actually you do actually only work a certain days. But it's like, yeah, you could work as a teacher and then finish your teaching job and then go landscape for 3 hours. It's like a lot of them are that, just like a second part time job other than your real job.
Yeah.
Which is that's not really what like a side hustle is supposed to be.
No.
In the definition of the word. Like if you're like, oh, that'll be sick. I'll be like have this side hustle. And they're like, yeah, janitor at a school. And you're just like, well, it's not really a side hustle.
Secretary.
Yeah, Uber driver, babysitting. It's like, who doesn't know that's not available? Where you just go, yes, I know I could babysit. But a lot of them too.
I mean, babysitting is not. You have to like. I don't think you can be a babysitter if you're like over 15.
You can't be,
or a man.
You can't be a 40-year-old guy named Doug and just show up for the babysitting gig.
Like just like have a profile on Craigslist for your babysitting services. Like at that point, you have to be like a
Doug's
relative.
babysitting.
If you're a guy and old, you have to be a blood relative.
That is most of these, because a big part of them is in a lot of the schemes that they're selling is that like they're all like finding client base,
Yeah.
and they're just like, yeah, it'll be a little side hustle. But most of the jobs are the type of jobs where it's like you do it forever, and then basically you have like 2 or 3 people that are your clients. Where it's like, yes, if you're like a babysitter, I guess if you're a girl, you can just go to the thing. But if you're a guy, it's like probably if you're a babysitter that like does a lot of babysitting, like really you have like 1 or 2 people that you watch for.
Yeah.
And really the game is to find those people.
for sure. And then just you're the go-to, but you're also in high school.
That's the other one. Mowing lawns and doing yard work and shoveling driveways. Like these are just like jobs.
I mean, there's people who have
They're-
those jobs who like, who start off as side hustles and they turn them into these like $1 million businesses if they're fucking hustlers.
Well, that's
like,
that's the dream, right? There's always some guy on here being like, I have 9, I started with when I was 17 shoveling driveways. Then I got 4 people shovel for me. Now they got 4 people shoveling for them.
Yeah.
And now I have
you have a
85
huge-
shovelers.
Absolutely.
Picking up trash is literally one of them. Brian Winch has been doing this for over 30 years and calls it America's simplest business. He says you're going to earn between $50,000 and $100K a year to walk local parking lots and clean up their garbage. So that's a job.
I mean, I will say this.
Your job is a trash picker.
And I'd say this without exaggeration. The wealthiest people, some of the wealthiest people I know in my life
The trash
are
collector.
all from recycling.
Yeah, but they own they have the trucks and everything.
From scrap metal, essentially. But like it's literally the like a handful of the richest, like obscenely rich people.
Well, that's why it's not in the side hustle category. That's like
But
being
it
an
did-
entrepreneur.
Yes, it is being an entrepreneur. And it did start as a side hustle. Like, it started, when they started, it was literally like, a small gig in your back of your truck.
And this is
but
kind
that's
of
like
my
how
problem.
Nike started as a side hustle.
My point was there's like I hate. That's the part that annoys me is when they say it's this way to make extra cash, but really it's like what they mean is if you want to like dedicate your life to being an entrepreneur,
Yes.
and that's all you're going to think about, and then you're going to start a business no matter what. Maybe your first one doesn't work, maybe your second one doesn't work, and you're going to be an entrepreneur and dedicate your life to learning about
that.
businesses, starting a business, figuring out how cash flow work, figuring out how to hire employees. And that is very different from like, yeah, just pick up a couple shifts picking up trash.
I mean, again, why would you, unless you obviously live somewhere where there's no demand for it, but like Uber or Lyft seems like the ultimate, like if that's
the best
available
one.
for you.
Yeah, that's the best one.
That's the best one. You work whatever hours you want. It's like the money's not bad.
That is probably the best one if you're just like, hey, I'm going to pick up a couple extra bucks
Yeah, you
here
just
and
like
there.
turn it on, be like, I want to work for 1 hour.
Way better than cleaning houses.
Yeah, well, like anything that requires a schedule is automatically worse. Like big time.
Oh. Yo, why would anyone choose to be like, hey, I'm going to take a part-time job as a cleaning lady. When can you just do Uber? I guess you need a car.
You need a car. You need a car. Yeah.
Rent your home or spare room on Airbnb. These ones I like. That was my favorite one where it's like, basically they're like, hey, you need some extra cash? Just rent out your extra rooms. And people are like, yeah, if I had if I had like 3 extra rooms, I probably wouldn't be in this position. Like, just rent out 3 or 4 of your Manhattan rooms.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of them do have things like that where they're like, people might not know this, but Manhattan rooms are worth $200 a night. So you're probably sitting on 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, and you're like 8-bedroom apartment in Upper East Side. Just rent that.
Listen, if you're sitting in your 9-bedroom apartment and you're only sleeping in one of the rooms, have you considered renting out some of the 8 other rooms to make some cash?
And I'm sure a lot of people are like, I have not considered that.
Do you need an extra couple bucks a month and all you have to your name is this $4 million property on 50th Street?
Rent out a room.
Rent out the room, and then why don't you sleep in one of the other spare rooms? That's another one they have too, is rent out your place for space. And it's like another thing where it's like, it says rent out your garage, and it was just like, I guess you could be like a family that's like super tight for cash, but you live in a home and no one knows. But if you have like a house in Buffalo, like, it's probably not that lucrative to try to find someone.
I mean, so I've seen people who actually
but
convert their garages. I'm sure the guy doesn't like big fan of it, but convert their garages into an apartment.
Well, that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
That's Kim Kardashian was putting the dogs in the apartment. Now she's in trouble right now.
I have not.
I don't know if you know about that.
No.
You don't know the Kim K news?
It's interesting that I don't, because it's maybe the only news my girlfriend follows is Kim Kardashian.
Oh, she's in hot water right now. She probably only tells you the positive things.
She does. She's a stan. My girlfriend's a Kim Kardashian stan.
She doesn't like to tell you the negative things.
It took me getting with my girlfriend to be like, who's into before I was like, who the fuck is into this shit? And I go, oh,
no, I was telling you that. I dated them. Here's the other one that was making me laugh. Accounting. Just do some part-time accounting.
You're like, I'm not an accountant, though. Where they go,
well,
if you go get your accounting degree, your designation.
Well, it specifies. This can be a great option with people who have an accounting background, but that's one of those things where you're like, so all I have, I'm working. I have no job. All I have is this stupid accounting degree, and I can't think of anything to do. And they're like, have you considered offering your accounting service?
I didn't.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, legitimately, some of them, they're like, have you considered offering accounting services? And you're like, I actually don't have actually, come to think of it, I did get that accounting degree.
Do you remember when basically, I don't think they do it anymore, but when I started comedy in Toronto, all these comedians were doing like lab tests.
That's
Remember?
actually
that was
not
like a
the
big,
worst.
And it's not on this list, but that was like a big
That's
thing.
actually an okay scam.
Where tons of comics would be like, yeah, I'm like I gotta go like into this thing for like 10 days, and they just like inject me with all sorts of shit, but it pays like $7,000.
I found out my dad was low-key going and doing like those things where you test a product.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was like years later, he was like, yeah, I used to do 5 or 6 of them a year, and you go in, you get $100, and I was like, what? He's sneaking off.
He just likes it.
He does. He said he just likes it.
Yeah, he just likes to go test the products.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, they show you like a movie or whatever, and you just
like market research.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was doing market research.
And your dad's like, jokes on them. I get paid. I like the movie because I just like movies.
Become a coach. So that's
yeah. Things are going so great. You're like maybe one of my favorite things is life coaches, just because you're like, none of you have your shit together.
They're literally said that. They go, hey, are you poor and you need some extra money? Have you considered becoming a coach for someone else's life who's poor? That's like basically my video. It's like, they go, there's more than one ways to get paid as a coach. We're talking coaching for sports, but also life coaching, career coaching. So do you not have a job and you're like poor? Have you considered career coaching?
Yeah.
If you're looking for a job, have you considered career coaching? Like, do you know how fucking crazy that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like if you're on this thing looking for side hustles, have you considered
You have to
career
be retired
coaching?
at that point and be like, this is just the thing I want to do.
Yeah, it's nuts. Become an event planner. Like, those are all just careers.
Yeah. No, my friend literally went to college. I have multiple friends who went to college to be event planners. You don't just be like, I'm going to be an event planner.
Does your friend looking for a part-time gig?
No, she's a full-time event planner.
Well, maybe for a side hustle, she could do some event planning on top of that.
Some extra event planning.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like,
have you considered more events?
Yeah. That's like, it's kind of like the like Ali G when he's just like everyone's ice cream, everyone's gloves. It's like that times them together. And he was like, so how much do you make event planning? And he was like, and how many hours do you work? 50. And he's like, I work maybe 40 hours a week, and I make like maybe $70K a year of the event planning. And how many hours do you work a week? 40. It's like, what if you worked 50 hours a week? I guess I can make a little more. It's like, what if you worked 60 hours a week? And he's like, I guess I'd make probably 85 then. What if you worked 70 hours a week? And he's, holy shit.
Wow, I never
How much do I owe you for this? 50 bucks.
50 bucks.
50 bucks for the life coaching.
Oh, yeah. There is no shortage of
selling baked goods. So it's not a very good hustle, but if you maybe.
I mean, it is if you're trying to raise money for your kid's soccer team.
One time, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of bakeries. You see a lot of bakeries and stuff where you're like, this was just someone was just making cookies and someone goes, this cookie's amazing, you could sell this, and then
if you
they
like
drove
doing
their whole
these
family into debt.
And their hobbies, a lot of them are fine.
Yeah.
Like even the next one, reselling thrift items. Like really very few people make a ton of money on this, but if you actually like doing this and you like clothes and then you make an extra
There's
few
these
bucks here
kids
and there for your hobby and you have a normal
in
job.
Whitby that I follow who have this like huge, they were just like into thrifting, and they have like this huge thrift shop.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you open up a thrift shop eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Washing and detailing cars, that's
Yeah, and that's like landscaping. You're like, yeah, I'm like, there's people who have become millionaires literally just starting
a
washing
detailing
and
car detailing business.
Like most of these things are the things that are on the papers where you take one. Like a lot of these things are just people have been doing these forever where you go take a thing.
Renting out your attic, so that's maybe if someone needs to store bodies or something like that. But here's where my favorite one was. So this is even better. These are side hustles that are essentially jobs that like 1 in 10,000 people, it works out for them when they put their full time into it. So they go modeling. So if you're, are you just looking for another side hustle to make some extra gigs? It's like you could be stock photographers are sometimes in need of subjects for their work. So strike a pose.
Be a nude model.
Well, that's the obvious one, but that's the worst one is when you're the OnlyFans person that you're just like, I always love the like backup plan that doesn't work out where you're just like, that's it, I'm quitting my job, I'm going to be an OnlyFans model, and then, 2 subscribers, your brother and his friend.
For sure. You're like, oof.
And now you're sending feet pics to your brother's friend for fucking $3 a month.
See, that's the thing. That should be one of the things. Sell feet pics, used underwear on Craigslist. Like
Those
these
are
are
the
real actionable things.
And modeling, YouTube channel host. If you generate a lot of video views, you could. This is probably my favorite section of the one article where they explain they're like professional hockey player. They're like people who play professional sports are paid a premium for those.
It's like you got to start young, but the payout can be very lucrative.
Yeah. If you're over 35, this might not be for you. Like the way that they fucking talk about these jobs is so ludicrous. YouTube host. You may not know this, but if you generate a lot of video views, you can earn money with YouTube's revenue sharing program.
Yeah.
So if you're just thinking about it, I don't know if you're not familiar with the idea. It's like Hollywood actor. It's like, I'm sure you've seen a movie before. Well, this may be news to you, but the people in that movie were actually just actors, and those actors are paid a lot of money. So you won't just want to get an agent, and then an agent can get you into one of those movies.
By the way, so I just, out of curiosity, I copied the title of this article, 27 side hustles, ideas to earn extra cash. I plugged it into Chat GPT just to see what it would spit out.
Nice.
Into the Matrix. Okay.
This is what the Matrix
This is what the Matrix. Here we go. 1, rent out a room on Airbnb. 2, sell items on Etsy. 3, do freelance work on Upwork or Freelancer. 4, offer pet. It's like the same shit.
Holy crap.
It's like a person spent 6 hours writing this.
Or they didn't.
No, because this came out before this was available.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Podcasting.
Literally number 26, do event planning or catering services. It's like honestly all the stuff on this list.
Well, that job's done then.
Yep.
Because one of their gigs is like
offer lawn care or snow removal services. Start a blog or a YouTube channel.
Well, they can't anymore because now the Chat GPT is doing it. Holy.
It's making shit obsolete real quick.
Chat Top GT.
Yeah. Chat Top GT.
That's what we should start. Chat Top GT.
Not bad.
Podcasting. So these descriptions are killing me. A large podcasting following can translate into serious sponsorship dollars. So a lot of them are just like, be famous.
Yeah, be a CEO.
Yeah.
Of a Fortune 500 company.
See, the first one, there's two categories. The two categories are one that's like basically start a business, be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. If like, doesn't matter what you do, if you're like, do that right and you're dedicated
And you
your
work
life
super
to it.
hard and you do stuff that people like
And
always need.
Eventually it might work out for you. And when it does, it can be successful, or it can just be like, a job that we work really hard at. The second one is just straight up part-time jobs.
Yeah.
Or full-time jobs in some cases. And then the third one is be famous. The third category is be a famous person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, have you considered being the CEO of Goldman Sachs? Just
nowhere does it say like
Side
figure
hustle.
out what value you can provide and then try and like what are you good at?
Well, it costs less than you think to start a podcast. And honestly, it can be a life-changing project. So this is if you...
Yeah, for the worse. It will change your life, yes.
I mean, all of this stuff is like, just like anything. It was like literally, being a fucking UFC guy is like probably the worst job for almost everyone.
Brutal.
It is maybe the worst job in the world for almost everyone. Pretty sick job for Conor McGregor.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yes, that's a...
The beating you take. I mean, I think about that, but at least like for a UFC fighter, you're like, okay, I could be a teacher. I'm like, I always think like the people who are trying to make it in the NFL, and you're like, there's no minor leagues for NFL. It's not like you can go toil in the minors.
No,
like,
they don't though. They
like,
all go bro.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like for hockey, you can play in the AHL for like 15 years. In the AHL, you never play in the NHL.
Yeah, you're right.
Make good money. Like
you don't get injured in sports like that either.
I mean, you get injured in
especially
hockey.
playing Russian and those ferries over there.
Yeah, all those fucking.
You play in those European leagues. Those
Yeah, the soft European leagues or whatever, where it's all Jaromir Jagr's still playing, but they like there's no minor leagues, so you're just putting your body on the line. I guess you just like eventually hit an age where there's just like no football to play.
So what happened with the concussion guy?
What concussion guy?
It was a whole big. Well, no, the NFL thing that.
Oh, the guy on the Bills?
Yeah, you were going to talk about it. You said.
Oh, what happened? I mean, he had a fucking heart attack,
and a lot of people were saying they should still keep the game going.
Well,
and that was a very
Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless is getting.
Skip Bayless. Honestly, I'm going to say this is like he tweeted it right away. I honestly. People love piling on. I don't think his tweet was that bad. Like, he's just like, he said, because at the end of it, he goes like, it's not the thing to even think about right now, but he was just saying like, how are they going to, this is an important game. Like, how are they going to make this up? And, it's a reasonable question. I guess people are like, not the time to ask this question, Skip. This guy is literally dying right now. And he was. Like, his heart was stopped.
So why did they cancel the game after that?
Because it was like crazy. I
mean, it was such a crazy thing.
It was his heart stopped. Like his literally like he went to make a tackle, got up to celebrate, and then just like grabbed his chest and like they were like performing.
I saw everyone saying that vaccine related stuff.
Well, that's the stupid. It's like again, maybe it's possible, but I'm like to say instantly like there was
instantly anything.
There was a guy in the 70s. Because I was thinking, I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen that, and I've never seen that. But there was a guy in the 70s in the NFL who had a heart attack and died just like on the field. And that game, literally, they played the next down 10 minutes later, and he was dead on the field, an NFL player.
Wow.
And he literally like died of a heart attack, was dead. They tried to revive him, took him off the field in an ambulance, and then there was a pass thrown 10 minutes later.
Yeah, that is
in that
crazy.
game. And then, but yeah, anyway, Skip Bayless was like poorly timed, I guess. I don't think he wasn't saying like, this is all I care about. He's just like, I guess I'm thinking out loud. I don't know. But he got dunked on real nice for that one. But I don't think they've said.
He sort of hasn't backed down on it.
But the NFL doesn't have a vaccine mandate. So it's not like a lock that he was vaccinated. But I don't know. Possible. I mean.
Music licensing. That's another one. Singer-songwriter Kathy Heller has found a unique way to reverse engineer her dream job by licensing her catchy tunes. So be a famous musician.
Yeah.
It's like legitimately they're just like
sell your back catalog.
Their thing is no, it's worse than that, Danny. Sell your back catalog to TV shows and movies. Yo, they're literally proposing, hey, are you not making that much as your job as an executive assistant? Have you considered selling your back catalog to Pirates of the Caribbean?
What? I didn't even know that was an option.
Well, just so you know, there's some shows. They're not making another season of Yellowstone, and then you could get your songs on Yellowstone. Yeah. Cha-ching.
And if that doesn't work, do you know that Yellowstone is casting for lead actors? They need lead actors desperately.
If you're looking for a side hustle, President of the United States of America is a high-paying job that requires a little bit of a background in politics, but not even necessarily.
Not too much.
Music licensing was good. Voiceover acting.
Yeah, that was on the ChatGPT. Said that number 23 do voiceover work.
How many people do we know that are, actually like successful actors and like all that stuff and do a million voiceover auditions and don't do that good?
Yeah, I know people who are like really, and they're like do really good voice stuff. It's insanely competitive because it's just.
I mean,
like
the commercial thing is just straight
now.
up audition. But I'll tell you what, out of all the acting auditions and every auditions I've done in my life, voice acting I shot way, way higher than the average range. Like, because I guess I have like a unique voice.
Okay.
So, and I maybe I have like good mic technique or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I probably did like 15 voice auditions and I've booked like 8 commercials.
Really?
Like I have like even the agents and stuff like that said that like I had like the highest like book range of anything.
I don't think
Because I got so many different voices. I could be like this.
Yeah.
But sometimes I could be like this. But then I could also be like this. Every time.
And then I could be like this.
But I could also be like this. No, what I would do is I had my one voice that I would do. So they go, hey, we're looking for like a British guy. I go, no, you're not. Well, how we doing tonight? I'm here to represent Bud Light. And they go, well, I guess we do want that.
Yeah, I guess.
They go, we thought we wanted a British guy, but we didn't. I guess we don't. And they go, hey, we're looking for a dad. We want him to be like, kind of a well, I'm a dad. Like
hello, have a seat, son.
They couldn't resist my southern accent.
Sam Elliott. Yeah, I don't know.
We're looking for like a surfer guy. I go, just ride the wave, pal.
You go, that's definitely not a surfer thing. You go, there's some big surf out in Oklahoma.
Yeah, but there's some big old wave, jiggly waves. If you go out deep to the right spots, they go, let him work.
Let him. He's getting there.
So that was one of the voices. Then I also did this bad boy a little bit, but sometimes I did do the announcer voice. Sometimes I would do this. This fall, coming to a theater near you. I actually never did a theater one, but
No.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I mean, voice work is maybe the easiest gig, but it's just hard to get. But once you get it.
Well, I mean, you literally have.
Easy
First
job.
of all, it's impossible. Most of the time, it's hard to even get the audition, and then there's 25 people auditioning. It's like not
When
bad
I
gig.
booked voice
but if you're
work
already
in-
doing acting, it's like
When
okay.
I booked voice stuff in Toronto, it was like.
What
I
did
don't
you
even-
book? Weasel number 3.
No, I did a Tim Hortons commercial. I did
A man buying one single Timbit.
I'd like a Timbit, please. It honestly was something like that. It was like one Timbit or one donut, please, or something. But you're like, it's the
Can I have
easiest
one-
gig.
can I have
They
one
treat
glut-
you so good. Like at
One
least,
gluten-free Timbit.
like acting is easy, but it still sucks because there's so much waiting around with acting. Like if you go act on a commercial, you're like you're waiting.
Oh, it's a
and-
great gig.
But I'm saying like
Yeah, I was making like $8,000 sometimes for these fucking.
But I'm
little
saying, but
things.
voice is like not even. There's no waiting around with voice as
No,
much.
it's the best.
It's like there's a catering.
Yeah, but not everyone was blessed with a voice from God like me.
It's all random.
Oh yeah, Mister booked one
Go
gig.
listen to the fucking radio, and it's just like some guy goes, "Hey, one Tim Hortons donut, please."
Listen, I was blessed with a voice from the gods, and it wasn't good for anything. All my life, people telling me that I got a stupid sounding voice.
Yeah.
Until I entered the voice.
I guess you were blessed for the voice game in the sense that you don't have like a thick accent from a different country because you never hear those.
You probably do now, though.
I don't even think so.
I think the gluten-free Timbit #1 dad.
It's like a hard,
Indian accent,
or
yeah.
Chinese, like been in Canada for 2 years.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Hi, I'm here for. Where were you? Your guy, like a testimonial
incel
for
number
financial
one.
services? Is that what you were doing?
No, it was Tim Hortons.
Excuse me. Could you tell me where the bathroom is? I gotta shit. You played the guy that has to shit.
Guy that's the shit number 3.
And then they're saying like, we're so nice, we let everyone use the bathrooms.
Starbucks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Starbucks commercial.
The
As the shit guy.
Starbucks commercial has a shit guy. Okay, we're gonna do one more thing.
I can't believe prostitution's not on the side hustles.
I
That's
know,
a
right?
real good one.
They're not gonna put prostitution on the side hustle, but they're
Oh, yeah. This is a Christian website.
be the singer in excess. Just specific.
There's what was the one band, Journey or something, where they got the
In excess had that.
no, but didn't Journey? Was it Journey who had
the reality show?
No. They got the karaoke singer from the Philippines. The guy who's like, you know what I'm talking about? And they just like replaced them.
But I don't know if it was Journey, but I know what you're talking about. Maybe it was. Yeah. But yeah, that's legitimately one of them. Is they're like, start a band with Liam Gallagher. Make some extra cash.
Can't miss. And it's funny because the one thing they don't tell you is write these dumbass lists and then serve ads.
They do. I'm telling you. I've posted. I think one was in the video. It's like some of them, dude. You never saw them? Make a newsletter. That's what you're reading. A newsletter.
Right. This is a newsletter.
Have a blog. Have a newsletter. Like that's a lot of them. So yes, they're like, start a new successful blog in the time when blogging is probably at its all-time least fucking profitable.
Yeah, nobody responds. I guess some people do. I guess you start a Substack.
I love it though. Anyway, so I wanted to do a few of them, but. Last thing was my mom. This is always my favorite because I always talk about this. That like one of my favorite things is that it's always like there was that thing of people trying to live these alternative lives but aren't ready to live the alternative lives. Then they make articles about why other people it should be okay to do it. It's like, and this one is when they get the tattoos on their face, right?
Yeah.
And be like the guy that's like, I got fired from my kindergarten teaching job because I have black eyeballs and I'm scaring all the kids. It was like a lot of times it is legitimately the guys get fired and they're like, the guy can't work here. And they're like, why? It's the kids keep crying.
Yeah, you're like, you scare them.
Yeah, so this mom says she was told to watch her kids play through the window because of her face tattoos because she keeps scaring all the kids, right?
Yeah.
And this mom, if you see her, she looks like a ghoul.
Yeah, but it sounds like she was scaring the parents, which I honestly like am siding with the mom a bit.
I do know what you mean.
I'm like, it's like they were just like, yeah, the parents don't like your face. And you're like, tough shit. I don't know. It's like, what? I'm not allowed to have tattoos on my face? Like she looks like a bit like it is a bit much. She's got all these crosses all over her face.
I do know what you mean, but I generally in these stories it's because it's scaring the kids.
Yeah, but this one wasn't that. I don't think because the kids were doing a play, so she's just watching the play.
If you are doing the play though, and you look down and you see
that fucking ghoul
in the front row, well, they just said, "Can you sit at the back because you're so distracting?" It's like this person that shows up with the wacky hat. They go, "You can wear the wacky hat, but you got to sit at the back a little bit."
Yeah, but if you're fucking big ass titty Oakville teacher, sit right up front, ma'am.
Right up front, ma'am. Step right up. The teachers told me that they want you to go look through the class window, and she's routinely prohibited from attending the kids' school events. It is a little one of those things where I almost don't believe her story. If I was to say I agree with you, but there is a part also where I go, it's somewhat unlikely that that they said you can't like sit in the thing. It's like you're allowed to. Like in an auditorium, is there a bouncer? Like who kicked you out? Yeah. Sloan shared that she's routinely prohibited by attending the kids' school events, but yeah, by who? Due to the blatant stares of other parents and children in attendance. She goes, here's where it gets a little bit on my side, Danny.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Look at this.
Yeah.
She's routinely prohibited from attending the kids' school events, either officially or due to the blatant stares of other parents.
Oh, so she's kind of removing herself.
Yeah, so she's not officially most of the time. She's banned because other people are staring at her. And it's like, this is where I go, listen, you cannot turn your tongue into a lizard, get your full face tattooed, show up with your eyes blacked out, and then be like staring much.
I mean, she's so into tattoos, so she has 6.
If you're gonna look wacky, you get
7 crosses on her face, like just like Christian crosses. But you can tell, but they're over top, like she's run out of space on her face.
Yeah, Tony, put this on the screen here.
Yeah, so she's run out of space, so then she's just tattooing over. Oh no, she's got way more than that. The photos on the left and right, she has like 10 crosses.
It's a rough looking face.
She just likes the pain of the tattoo.
Would you smash that?
No.
She specifically does not look good.
No.
I don't mind the girls with face tattoos. I've sort of dated that type before.
I'm not I mean,
neck tattoos.
The closest, like if you have like like a pinhead size, like
teardrop,
something. Yeah, I don't know, like nothing.
Maybe a little dollar sign on the back of her neck, so you could see that when you're smashing.
Just like a cum.
Either officially or due to the blatant stares.
I mean, I feel like your life is.
Do you think the kids maybe said to the people too, like, "Hey, can you please tell my mom not to come every time she shows up? It's like such a big debacle."
She keeps doing that lizard thing.
Yeah. She's sitting in the front row while we're trying to do our rendition of Pinocchio. She's in the front row.
Eating bugs. Pretending to be a lizard. It's just a lot.
Yeah, they got into the woods going with a bunch of 3-year-olds and she's eating bugs. Hey, do you want some popcorn? It's like, no, I brought my bucket of bugs.
Yeah, but I mean, again, you have to realize that you have face tattoos like that. Like, it's going to cause you some problems.
That's what always makes me laugh. Like, I agree. It's like, yes,
unless you're
probably
Maori,
can't kick them out of their own kid's recital. That's a little much. But at the same time, you go, you cannot be flabbergasted. That
if you're
you.
Maori, like the New Zealand people now, like that's become like a protected thing. Where if you kick them out, you're like, this is our culture.
That's the dream,
right? So if she the problem is this isn't her culture because she's white.
You have to say, yeah,
but it kind of is.
You have to say like you're goth and that's your culture or something like that.
Yeah, but that's not an accepted protected class.
The shock and curiosity surrounding her appearance makes her feel unwelcome. Now can you switch your side a little bit to admit that this is fucking knucking futs?
Knucking futs.
Where you go, you cannot have a fucking lizard face and then with the bumps on it and everything and being like, these people with their stares are making me feel unwelcome. It's like, in what world?
I mean, you do this so people stare at your face.
That's my point.
Yeah.
You can't show up with if you showed up to stand up and you've got spandex everything on and everyone comments on your spandex, you can't be like,
my spandex is not to be commented on.
Yeah,
what do you think the husband looks
if you're
like?
trying to be left alone and you go, the idea for the audacity to be like, hey, I don't want anyone staring at me. I want to be completely left alone. But, however, I do need to have the wackiest image in the entire city.
Yeah, I will say one thing that is shocking is she says she can't go into pubs even. She's in the UK somewhere. And she goes, I can't even go into pubs.
I think she's full of baloney.
She goes, I can't even go to pubs around here because they say it's offensive. They don't like it. It upsets them in the posh pubs. But again, she says, I can't go into pubs. And you're like, yeah, all she means is people stare at me.
She means people stare at her. Or maybe once she went into like some super high class place and they thought she was like a squeegee kid. And they're like, listen, you got to have a reservation.
Yeah.
We don't serve your kind around here.
We don't serve bugs.
We don't serve bugs to bugs.
Yeah,
we don't serve people who look like bugs, and we also don't serve bugs. We will be soon when the Matrix comes down on us, though.
Can't wait for that.
Okay, patreon.com/theboyscast. I got a few pretty good things here. Guy that's been at the forensics. A big percentage of dudes at the forensic hospital have been boning their nurses.
Oh yeah.
We got a new Rachel Dolezal, cancer survivor that was harassed as being trans. Which there's nothing funny about that.
No.
And okay, more where that came from.
And Bugman versus Bugman once we hit 2,000.
Yeah. You already know what it is.
So hit that sub button.
Patreon.com/theboyscast. We appreciate you all. Peace.